There it is. Right in your ear hole.
Live in your hole of wax.
Yeah.
Welcome to Uncle Weepy's Depression Dungeon, the least helpful self-help podcast. Here are your hosts, Paul Armstrong and Jeremy Fuchsen.
It's a nice thunderstorm here right now.
Oh, so we might be getting ready to lose you in your flooded, wet internet.
We don't often get blackouts, oddly enough.
Oh, that's good.
New internet tomorrow. Coming.
Oh, yay, new internet.
Yay! We're going from 20 to 400.
What are you going to do with all that pipe?
Download illegal shit.
There you go.
Just kidding. It's hard to believe that we've had 5 people in this house relying on just 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a whole new world, man. You're going to be changing the world for the better. You could, fold whatever that is that people
Time?
fold.
Oh.
Yeah, well, the little,
Origami.
fold at home things, like the satellite supercomputers. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I don't know. I'm trying to
I don't even know
figure
that
it
I
out.
know what I'm talking about right now.
A Tesseract?
Oh my God! No, there's a thing. There was a thing, and I don't
Dr.
know.
Strange?
It used extra.
It used
I don't know.
just leave it at that. It's extra. I'm just gonna
Ignore
be
me.
extra.
It's been a weird day, man.
It's a Wednesday.
Oh God, yeah.
So I know that a couple weeks ago you officially announced you were looking for
Yes.
How's that going?
That's kind of what's made it a weird day.
work.
It's going really well. You wouldn't know it by looking at me, but it's going well. I have had a number of people contact me with opportunities. I've had a lot of initial phone calls.
Yeah.
So many that I'm kind of losing track of who is what and what is who and what job and I'm starting to get confused, which is not good.
Are these all local to KC? I know you talked about even maybe moving back to Oklahoma. Or
I have had one. Well, I guess I've had 2 phone interviews with a place in Oklahoma City, and the last phone call I can't even remember if it was this week or last week. That's just how this has gone. They want to fly me down to Oklahoma City and have a day's worth of interviews down there. The job would be remote.
Oh,
for at least 9 months.
that's not bad.
Yeah, so I'm kind of down with that. I don't know. I have some super mixed feelings about going back to Oklahoma.
Well, how would Robin feel about you moving?
I mean, she's kind of like whatever at this point, and
I thought she worked, or is she?
No. She's trying to find a job too. She had been interviewing at a couple of places, and one of the places she didn't get the job. The place that she worked 2 places ago, she's talked to, and they want to take her back, and she probably will be starting there within a couple of weeks. I don't know. It's that
Your pref is to stay in town, I would assume.
it is. I've got a day's worth of interviews plus a design test on Friday.
I'd be curious to see what your design test is. I had to create one.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because you want it to be applicable to what they might be going into, but you also want to make sure that you're getting the skills to know that they can handle anything.
Yeah.
No, that's vague, but you know what I mean. Like,
I know.
Hey,
I know.
I'll be interested to see what that.
Yeah. Because I got.
Are you doing it in an office?
Yeah.
So they're going to be watching you?
I don't know if they're going to be watching me, but I'm going to be there. Yes, while
they're going to have a hidden camera.
Probably.
Like, watch what he does. He doesn't know this.
I'm really interested to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I honestly am really, really hoping for this job. It is so different from anything that I have done. And yes, and it's one of those things. I know a ton of people that work there.
Oh yeah.
And when they work there, they don't leave.
Are they super corporate-y? Like you would have to have dress code?
I'm sure.
That?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a little bit of dress code and all that stuff. But I mean, it's not like,
Hopefully not a suit.
No, it's not a suit and a tie.
Lab coat?
Lab coat? Oh God, I wish. I sure hope so.
You should go to the interview tomorrow in a lab coat and have a cane and a monocle or something. And
I hadn't even thought of that, but
just make an impression right off the bat.
Yes, lab coat.
Good day.
My Lord, yes.
So they won't ever forget you. You're like,
no, yeah.
I don't know what he's going to do, but man left an impression.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not to say like shit on a desk before you leave. It's more of a,
No.
Develop a quirk.
Shitting on a stump.
Wait, what is? I heard a story about someone shitting on a log.
Yeah,
what is it from?
You did. You thought you heard it. You know it. You know the story.
Wait, why do I know the story? What is it from?
It came from Harmontown.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But shitting on the cleanly cut stump, it just looks so nice and clean.
Some new fetish that everyone realized, oh shit, that does sound like a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Shit stump is a great thing. I'm going to look for one.
Yeah.
That's when it was Harmontown. That's right. And I'm like, why do I know I've heard this story? I listen to so many podcasts driving for vacation. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just like you don't know what day it is and who you're talking to. I can't remember where I've heard anything. Like,
yeah.
I heard a story, and I don't remember where.
I heard a story about shitting on a stump.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Where it might have been on My Favorite Murder. I don't know. Oh, boy. Well, I'm glad that's going well.
It's going well, but yeah, it's starting to get a little overwhelming. And I got, and of course I've gotten a few, feedback pieces back and forth. Oh, and did we talk about the first interview that I had?
Mm-mm.
No,
I have not heard the story.
Okay.
No.
So there's another place I think would be really, really cool that I interviewed. Another user experience job. Although I'm not exactly, I'm not sure how they're defining user experience on this one. But either way, I think it would be something that I would be into. It is a company here that makes interactive kiosks for museums and sports stadiums and so like
touchscreen interface type.
Oh stuff. Yeah. Like when I took the tour of the place after the interview, they had in their tech lab. They were doing some stuff for Cerner, interestingly enough, that they were using LED floor tiles. That they were the same floor tiles that they used in the opening and closing ceremonies at the Beijing Olympics or the whatever the hell last Olympics were. And they're like, I think we're the first people in North America to use these, and I mean, it was like crazy, and they were like programming. Being able to show video on them and interact with, so stuff would happen up on a screen and then it would go down onto the floor. And I was like, I'd be way into that. So there are a couple of things that I think are interesting. I just need to keep track of who called what. And I think I need to stop. Of course, I've had, a million LinkedIn recruiters.
Really?
Going,
because you said you were looking for work, they came to you, or
gosh, yes.
Oh
man, boy, did they! And I have had tons.
It seems like a good time to find a job too. No, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to where this goes. It sounds like you have cool. You're all looking for UX stuff or product designer. That's the title we're going after.
Yeah, I mean it's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All of the developer positions that I've kind of been going, sure, why not? I mean, they've all kind of come back with, no, they decided to pass on you. And
is it? Have they told you why?
They did forward me on feedback from one person.
Okay.
And they're like his resume is way too design centric, and I worked with some of his code at a previous job, and so I'll just pass. And I was like, wait a second, what the fuck does that mean?
Slap in the face.
I know. I was like, hold on.
Do you know who it was?
Well, I went and I
you went to the office and nagged him.
Well, it was a guy I had no idea who it was. He was at a place years after, he was
dealing with something from.
Yeah, he was dealing with some legacy code that I had done 2 to 3 years prior, and even to that point, I haven't been at this place that he worked at for 6 years. So,
code changes very quickly.
Fuck you, neckbeard.
That's what I say. People get rare proprietary about their coding techniques and the way they structure stuff, and that's fine. It's if the software isn't buggy, is effective, isn't slow, sluggish, full of holes, whatever like that. If it functions and does what the task did, then it's semantics, and you're just being a dick about it.
Exactly. And let's also be real. It was, if he worked on something that I was working on at that time, it was a marketing website that basically said, "Hey, buy some horse drugs." Mm-hmm. So let's not get too fancy, sir.
Let's not get on a high horse, so to speak. Oh yeah, woo! How's your mental state with all of this?
Well, today it has not been good. Today has been rough. I was very grumpy today, very snappy.
Is it panic, or are you?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of panic. Okay. I think there's an aspect of it that's like, I'm starting to, I've gone past the, oh God, this is something that I have to do, but I don't really want to do it, into something like, hey, I'm kind of excited about this because this all sounds kind of cool. And, you kind of want it to hurry up and whatever's going to happen. So, there's that point. So there's a little bit of anxiety, good anxiety, but still anxiety.
Sure.
About, let's get on with this. And then there's the anxiety of, oh dear God, every single one of these things is going to, fall through the floor.
They're going to pass. All of them are going to pass.
Every single one of them are going to pass. And I've just spent 2 months doing all this when I could have been going and getting more work. And now I don't have any work. And now I'm fucked. So there's that. And then there's the whole, I'm just starting to have a hard time keeping track of who said what and what did what.
Are you sleeping?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
I just know when I have major anxiety, I either am not eating well or not sleeping well.
I have started taking some over-the-counter sleeping pills, which has helped. Which has helped. I've only been doing that for about 3 days, but I've been sleeping well. But I also have been noticing when I wake up, I'm really sore, and I think it's probably because it just knocks me out so much I don't move.
Right?
Yeah, and I'm just so.
So you hurt. You're sleeping well.
Yeah,
but now
I'm sleeping well, but then I wake up and I'm like, ow,
which can make you grumpy.
It can make you. It's
amazing how. At least what I've noticed is how my psyche, my emotional state, is so dependent upon a physical state.
Yeah.
If I may not realize that I have lower back pain or something or whatever, and throughout the day I just get more and more either angry or anxious or whatever, and then I realize oh, it's because I have this pain. All I need to do is just take some Tylenol and maybe I'll be better. It's not necessarily something that needs a dose of Xanax or something like that. It's just it's something else that's exasperating my anxiety because my body is off.
Yeah.
But then there are certainly times when it's just anxiety and I need to take Xanax and chill the fuck out. Like flying.
Yeah. No bueno with flying, eh?
Have we talked about my flying fears?
No, we have not talked about your flying fears. Let's talk about that.
Sure, we can. it started when I started flying more. Like when I was a tour monster, I did a lot of speaking and I did a lot of flying and a lot of traveling at least once a month. And the more I flew, the more anxious I got. And I don't know why. I think it might have... there was one flight that was super turbulent.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, no. Actually, it wasn't even to work. It was family vacation. We were going to Disney, and it was a super turbulent flight. And my kids were freaking out, which freaked me out for them. I think from that, I think that fear was the fear of losing them, which I just transferred upon myself. And now every time I fly, any turbulence, I am death grips. You know, like, we're going to die.
Kind of takes you back to that. And
it's because I'm alone. I'm like, I'm never going to say bye to the kids. I'm going to die alone, and they're going to be left with nothing. Like, it just, the spiral. The spiral of all illogical. Doesn't matter. Everyone's like, just take a deep breath and realize that flying is safe. I'm like, fuck off. Fuck you. It doesn't help me at all. Like, don't tell me what I know. Like, there's no getting out of that sort of spiral. So, like, every time I would fly, I sweaty, panicky. I would drink a lot before, which didn't really help.
Yeah.
Because I'd forget shit or whatever. Then that's when I finally went to the doctor, and I'm like, I am panicking, like literally having panic attacks the night before I fly.
Yeah.
Like I'm up all night, I'm sweaty all night, I get nauseous and have, coming out both holes kind of upset just about flying. He's like, well, you just need some Xanax. I'm like, oh, is it that easy? He's like, yeah, sure. So it's just like, gave me Xanax. I took it right before the flight. And I was still a little panicky even with taking one, but it helped a little bit.
Yeah, it rounds those edges off pretty well.
It does decently well, but yeah, it was in my mind, like the more I fly, the more chances something go wrong, the odds go up. That's what my brain was telling me.
Yeah.
Even though driving, I've driven forever. I never panic before going in a car. I think it's a control thing as well. You're in control of a car. You're in control of where you can go, where you can steer. I don't see where an airplane is going. I don't know how to fly an airplane, and I don't know what a pilot is encountering and has to counterbalance. Like, I remember listening to 99% Invisible episode about autopilot. It was a pretty good episode. It was just about, they were talking about driverless cars and how we could take a lesson from autopilot and stuff like that. And I was talking about how most plane crashes happen because pilots take over. They battle autopilot with their own intuition and fear. They counterbalance something that would be corrected if they just let it go. But they overdo it. They oversteer. The airplane's fighting them on what they're trying to do. And like a lot of accidents happens because of pilot error, not because of our autopilot feature.
Yeah.
Which just freaked me out. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to have the autopilot go out, and my pilot's going to think he's a hero, and he's just going to crash us into a mountain.
I will save us!
Yeah, it wasn't good, like, listening to that. It was interesting, but it made me panic more. But
now, were you listening to that on a flight?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well,
thankfully, I haven't flown as much, but...
back when I flew a lot... and going to new business pitches, and when I was speaking around places, when we'd fly, I got to where I would drink a ton at the airport, and I mean, part of it was, it wasn't.
Plus, flying sucks.
It wasn't really overt anxiety and fear about flying. It wasn't, but it was just kind of like, I'm all by myself. I don't have anything else to do. Might as well eat a shitty airport steak and drink a ton,
Yeah, that's what I would typically do. I would go to a breakfast place, because that was always an early flight.
Yeah.
Get some greasy steak and eggs or something like that. Chase it down with something and just be like, hopefully I can get through this shitstorm. And then you don't fit in the seats. You're all crowded. Everyone's stressed out and angry. Like, it's not conducive to anyone with anxiety flying.
No, it's not.
None of it is. Mm-mm. It's the anxiety of getting there on time, the anxiety of getting your luggage on, the anxiety of getting through metal detectors and the TSA, and getting to your gate and then making sure you're checked in and then everyone lining up and waiting, even they haven't called anything. They're like, I'm in line. I'm ready. Like, do you have a fucking assigned seat? Calm the fuck down. But,
But I am in line.
I'm in line. Everyone's amped up. You get on the plane and it's crowded and babies crying and asshole old people who just, want everything the way they want it. And that's me. I'm talking about myself. But yeah, it's not conducive to keeping a calm and level-headed experience at all.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. Like, have you seen those semi-standing seats they want to start putting in planes?
I have. Those are not fun looking.
That looks terrible. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's. How tall are you? You're probably
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like it, like the top of the headrest will be in your low, like you're right below your neck, where it's like hitting you, and you're like, this is uncomfortable.
Yep.
Great.
Your head's just gonna flop around.
Yeah. Ugh. We're just cattle. We'll just put some straps and we'll stand and hold on. Let's just do that. Let's make it a subway in the air.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, why
crowd
not?
us in? Who
Why
the fuck
not?
cares? I mean, that's just what they're going to do. Let's just crowd us in, make sure we're balanced so the plane isn't all tippy-toppy, and take off. We'll be fine. Put us in little clear tubes. Fill it with gas, knock us out. Actually, that would be amazing.
That actually would be pretty great.
I would love to be knocked out.
That would be pretty great.
Put me actually, what would be amazing is to put me in a Luke Skywalker tube of water kind of thing.
Ooh, yeah. Back to tank.
But then any turbulence you wouldn't feel.
Right?
Because
you're just yeah, sure.
Shit. Aquaplanes. Aquaplanes.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, did you know that we have after show content?
We do?
We do. We have after show content.
We do talk a lot.
We do talk a lot. And so, as a matter of fact, we have almost enough equal length episodes, like 2 every time we publish an episode. We basically have 2. And so we have a super secret special feed for our whole second secret show, which contains things that are continuations of conversations, completely different. And I was thinking about that because as I was looking how you shared on Facebook today about the latest episode, I was like, you just mentioned a topic that's not in the show.
Oh.
But that's okay.
I knew we talked about it.
You knew you talked about it, but it's not in the show, but it's in the after show, in the super secret after show. And there's only one way to get that stuff.
What would that be?
Well, the best way, or actually the only way to get that stuff is by going to patreon.com/Uncle Weepy and becoming one of our supporters. And once you do that, for only $5 a month, once you do that, you get your own special private RSS feed that you can then subscribe, get basically 2 for the price of $5. So you get the regular show, then you get the after show, and there are 2 lost episodes on that special super secret RSS feed that we never even released. So it's even more extra than that.
Nice.
I know.
You might get some magical spells.
Well,
maybe a recipe for secret liquor. I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but anything can happen.
Actually, I think that's good because we need to get creative because there are actually 3 levels of support that people could give. So they could give the $5 support, which, gives you the super secret after show feed that contains the bonus content. That's our Uncle Weepy support group level. That's $5. $10 a month is our therapist level. And so you get that feed, plus we say thank you during each episode. And then the show producers level, which is $20 or more. It's kind of like those party flyers, 2:00 to question mark, $20 to question mark. You get the feed, we talk about you, and then we'll figure out some fun present to give you twice a year. Could be a super secret cocktail. We don't know.
Yeah.
And it says as such on Patreon. It just says we're not sure what the gifts are, but we'll make them cool. We swear.
Yeah, if we get more people, maybe we'll start doing more cool things. I would love to do T-shirts or little buttons. Maybe
I would love to.
Uncle Weepy button
do some swag.
Yeah, do some swag we can give away. We can do a question answer. Sort of, you get to run the topics we talk about. We of course have complete discretion to ignore you because you might be an idiot. I'm just kidding.
Maybe
I'm kidding. But get some mention. Maybe call in. Maybe it'll be, hey, we'll talk with you. We'll interview you. Be a special part of the show at certain amounts.
Love to do that.
We're all exploring things, and as we're hitting our stride, getting more into this,
That's right.
It's very important stuff.
It is important stuff
because we're changing the world.
We are changing. We are changing.
We're changing the world in the fact that we get to distract you for an hour from the complete shit fire of dumpster diapers that's happening in the world right now.
That's right. And for only $5 a month, you can extend that to us distracting you for up to 2 hours a week.
That's right. And you could be a part of it. And where's that again? Patreon.com/Uncle Weepy spelled
Yeah, I mean,
WEEPY.
Yeah, all one word. Uncle Weepy, UNCLEWEEPY. Join now. You'll be glad you did.
We'll
be glad you did. Paul will love you forever. He'll love you a long time.
I'll love you. I'll give you hugs.
Media Corner.
I think there's a show you would love. Maybe you're watching it. The new Nick Offerman, Amy Poehler making it.
I haven't started yet, but yes, I want to watch it.
It's so fun. Like, I think you might like it because it has Boy Scoutish kind of elements to it.
Well, I mean, it's all Nick Offerman doing his thing.
Sure. It is actually. Was he a Boy Scout?
I don't know if he was, but he's a very I mean.
Oh, he's very handsome.
Ron Swanson and him. Yes. I mean, there's so many.
If you actually never read any of his books, they're pretty good. Like Gumption's a good book.
Yeah.
It's a good read. Anyway, they give sewn patches for achievements. And they keep the people on. They only get rid of one person every time, but they keep everyone else on the show. They don't keep bringing in new people. And this cool, crafty, it's all positive. Everyone's encouraging to each other. It's not competition to crush other people. It's hugs and love. And do you need a hand with that? Yeah. Okay, I'll help you with that. And the judges are encouraging, but giving you feedback that's helpful, not just mean, like American Idol mean kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, I like what you're doing here. Oh, I like this. It feels a little incomplete here, or, like really cool stuff. Like,
yeah,
I think you'll really enjoy it. I just get a kick out of, one, it's not about anything other than people being creative. But it's also cool because all of the tasks are about people expressing who they are through creativity.
Yeah, which is awesome.
So it's like, we want you to make a new family heirloom. So put your spin on what it means to you to be family. And then you get to it gets really deep into these people's stories, and there's crying. It's really good. It's very good. It was a light in a
dark tunnel.
It's just a dark time right now. There's just no way around it. And that's just like, oh, good. Oh, just something where people are kind to each other. And you know that they're all probably have different beliefs and politics, and it doesn't matter because they're crafting and building and supporting each other. It's just kind of great. So I recommend it. Plus, Amy Poehler, Nick Offerman are amazing. It's just so. Yeah, you've been watching Parks and Rec, right?
I've been watching the hell out of it. My oldest son has started watching it a little bit.
How far are you now?
Well, I am just now into season 6. I'm like a couple episodes in. So I just now have seen saw the source of the Andy Dwyer gif that's always the fast zoom out. So
the pregnant?
Yeah, the pregnant one. So
doesn't it get to it gets so good.
It does. It gets really, really, really good.
Yeah, the way that all the characters are just good people. Not perfect.
But they're all really good people with good intentions.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I love about the show. I'm like, it's not about being mean or mean-spirited or overly anything. Like, Ron is not even chauvinistic, though they could have made him that way as a character.
He could have very easily, but no,
he's like
not.
a feminist, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he says he's not an anythingist, but he's very supportive of Leslie and his wife and all women. It's really the way they juggle everyone, and then Tom could just be a total douche of caring nothing about but appearance and how he looks, except that he's smart and he's entrepreneurial and always comes back to being a better person every time he tries something.
Yeah.
And that last season, I'm telling you, you're gonna just cry like a baby because it's so good.
Oh,
it's
crap.
so good.
All right,
but you can see there's already been probably a few episodes where you get a little weepy, like, oh man, that was
you know what?
amazing.
Actually, there has been, yeah.
There's a few episodes you watch it like, wow, they just really gut punched me, really good.
I started watching Dirty Money. I've only watched the Volkswagen one.
Interesting, right?
But it was good. It was very interesting.
I didn't realize how far back it went.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and
no
really,
kidding.
in the fact that they're really kind of not the only people that do it.
No, they just got really hammered.
They got really hammered for it. But it seems like
they only really got caught
prevalent.
because of,
at least in European cars, it's pretty prevalent.
About the live diesel.
Yeah, about the defeat devices.
Oh, you're right, which still boggles my mind.
Yeah,
I guess it's not that foreign to think that they could have some sort of sensor that knows that something's been put into it to know that it's being monitored.
Well, no, the way the VW one worked is
it's not moving and it's
since it's the wheels that don't have the drivetrain, it senses that those are not moving.
Oh, they're stationary, right?
They're stationary, so it knows it's on a treadmill, and so it.
Well, I thought they also had sensors to know that something was stuck up the tailpipe or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. All of it, it's like, what an elaborate ruse.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also because they really couldn't solve a problem that they had promised in advertising to everybody that they couldn't deliver on.
Yeah.
It didn't go back to the 90s? It went back a long time.
It went back quite a while, yeah.
That's what was surprising to me. I'm like, oh, shit, this goes way, way, way back. It was all part of their reimagining of VW.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. Every episode's going to be like that, where you're like, oh, I kind of remember this, and oh, wow, oh, boy. It just shows you, free enterprise does not typically lead to great stuff.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Because free enterprise to people means, oh, let me see how much money I can take from people.
Yeah.
And that just can lead to really bad shit.
Yeah, it can. It can.
I'm curious when you watch the Kansas City one.
Yeah, I'll have to.
The Payday Loan.
Yeah, I have to be in the right mood to watch those because it's you got to pay attention.
Yeah,
and B, you gotta be prepared to get a little bit disgusted or pissed off. So
yeah. There's you're gonna have some righteous outrage pretty quick.
Yeah.
I've never owned a VW, so it didn't bother me. But Payday Loan stuff, I know that. Yeah. Or the drug stuff. Oh, man. The drug company stuff really infuriated me. It's a good show.
Yep.
I've been watching, I don't know if you ever watched Bloodline. I started watching Bloodline.
I don't even know what that is.
Netflix. Kyle Chandler, Ben Mendelsohn, who is a treasure of an actor. It's fucked up. It's good. I've heard that the first season.
Well, that guy,
great,
he looks very familiar. Okay.
Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights is Coach Chandler.
Yeah. That's him.
It's a good show. I'm only in the first season, but I'm like, it's crazy. Sissy Spacek.
Yeah.
Who just died? What's his name? The playwright and actor. He's only in the first 5 episodes or so. Oh crap!
Sam Shepard.
Yes. Sam isn't he playwright? Correct.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm talking out of turn on that.
Yes, he was. He was an American actor, playwright, author, screenwriter, and director.
Yeah.
Whose body of work spanned half a century.
R.I.P.
There you go. We went and saw Teen Titans Go to the movies a week or so ago. Yeah.
I've heard it's funny.
Actually pretty good.
Is it worth a big screen look? Because it looked exactly like the cartoon.
Oh, it looks exactly like the cartoon. Yeah. It's just a gigantic, blown up cartoon.
Yeah. Looks
yeah,
funny,
you know, it is. It actually, I like the show.
Yeah,
so,
my son loves that show.
You know, so I know that there were friends of mine who took their kids to go see it that don't like the show, and they still came out going, yeah, I mean, it was okay. But if you like the show, it's really good. You know, and here in a week or so, they're actually going to continue the story of the movie on the TV show. So, like at the end of it, it showed, you know, to be continued on Cartoon Network, and then so they're tying it back in, and so they're bringing the story back to the network. So that way, you got to go watch the movie to know what's going on, and or not, because it doesn't really matter. I would seriously not bet, but it had I think. Probably my favorite closing line of any movie ever.
Oh no!
So at the end of it, Robin was trying to come up with, you know, some lesson that everybody could learn from all this, and he was or trying to find something profound to say, or you know, and everybody's trying to get him to shut up, and you know, we're out of time, the movie's over, blah blah blah, and he was getting real frustrated because he couldn't say anything because nobody would let him talk or anything like that, and so like at the very last second, he grappling hooks himself up to, you know, it's like this, you know, it's simulating this boom shot, this wide boom shot that's kind of coming out away from them and is going up high, and so he grappling hooks the camera jib and goes flying up to it and gets up into the lens, and he's like, kids, on your way home, make sure to ask your parents where babies come from, and then it just immediately goes to black.
That's so mean. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah, it was it. God, I laughed, and then I was like, going, well, shit, here this comes. But you know, my 10-year-old's so clueless, it didn't even register for him. So
that's how I always use that example as an example about how to present information to people. Because when a kid asks you that, you don't go into the full story of the birds and the bees. You only give them the most next logical answer, which is,
right.
Well, babies come from. I mean, you can say a mom and a dad because it kind of has to happen that way. They come from a mom and dad. The baby's born, and that might be all they want. They have another question, then you answer that one. You don't answer the question in anticipation of a much larger story. They don't know that. They're only looking for a little bit of information, and it might be enough.
Yep.
So that's how content should work. That's how visuals should work. Give people just enough so that they get what they want. If they want more, provide a way to get them to it, but don't give them everything at once. It's overwhelming. It might be too much.
Yeah, you're making me think. You're making me think of the Patton Oswalt bit about the miracle of childbirth.
Yes.
9 months later, she gives birth to a beautiful baby, which I will illustrate by pushing this uncooked Cornish game hen through these gray drapes.
Let's get serious.
So I had a deep topic I've been thinking about. Maybe you have too.
All right.
But the whole Alex Jones InfoWars freedom of speech shit that's going on.
Yeah.
It's really conflicting me, actually.
You know what? Honestly, it is me too.
Because when the Supreme Court decided about a month ago about the cake maker being able to decide that he does not want to serve people who want messages that disagree with his religion, it bothered me.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, is that not what people are sort of demanding? Like, it feels weird to be like Facebook and Twitter should be forced to accept what anybody says.
Yeah.
Yet the Supreme Court just ruled that no, they don't have to, which bothered me. But I also believe that Facebook and Twitter, as a platform and business, should be able to tell they have rules, they have terms and conditions and all that stuff to be able to say, no, this violates what we stand for.
Mm-hmm.
But that contradicts how I feel about the cake maker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of what the distinctions are. Like,
well,
is there...
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I guess, and the thing that really got me thinking about it today was I was reading an article about Twitter's glaring omission from the dog pile.
Jack said no, he didn't violate any rules.
Yeah, Jack said no, he didn't violate any rules, and you know, and it's not up to us to police this one way or another. Which in one certain way, yeah, you're exactly right, and I totally agree with him. But in another way,
you can block Alex Jones or whatever.
Yeah,
you don't have to follow him.
Yeah, but you know, in another way, it's I'm just like, but he, you know, he's him and he's terrible, but you know, one man's
but Twitter's clearly taking a stance of we're fine with this.
Yeah,
which as a corporation,
that's the other thing. It's like it's in one way, it's an implicit agree. You know, I mean, it's not an implicit agreement with it, but yet it is. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's really really tough.
You just touched on the thing that it gets in my head is allowing that an agreement with it, and
that's what, you know, that's what's so tough.
I don't know, right? Because go into other, like, speech is not, like, clearly Twitter and Facebook, people aren't speaking, they're typing, writing,
right,
delivering it digitally. Like, there's other ways of expressing as speech in other mediums. For instance, monuments.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a form of speech, saying these monuments represent a character of someone which we respect and want to honor. By allowing them to be here, you are somewhat, I believe, saying we're okay with this. We're okay with this monument, what it represents and what it speaks. Is that not the same? I mean, I guess the difference, I mean, the difference is it's one single item. It's one entity representing one thing rather than Facebook, which is only the delivery of a million things.
Well, I guess here's where I really have kind of landed on it. You have
It's really hard.
Yeah,
because you have the rights of a corporation to do what they want, and people's supposed freedom to say whatever the fuck they want wherever they want.
Right.
So Alex Jones is not being shut down. They're just saying you don't do it here.
Yeah, just don't do it here. Exactly. And I guess
the First Amendment is about the government saying,
yeah,
you can't do this, and we're shutting you down, which is not. I mean, Twitter and Facebook aren't the government.
Right.
There's no law being passed to say InfoWars and Alex Jones cannot exist. They cannot speak.
Mm-hmm.
Although slavery and the monuments to the slavery are exactly about saying that people can't be and do and express what they want, which is weird and gets confusing. Like, okay, so you get mad when we take down monuments that are a glorification of the limits of freedom?
Mm-hmm.
Very confusing.
Very confusing.
Because our rights and our freedoms butt up into each other. If it's all about, like, a lot of people's freedom of speech butts up against themselves. Civil rights. Southern Americans did not want to hear black people trying to stand up for their rights. And the black people were in somewhat civil disobedience, I guess, to the Jim Crow laws at the time.
Yeah.
So whose freedom of speech is more important? Is it just we go with what is established law, or do we allow dissent? I think the First Amendment says that people are allowed to express dissent, right?
I do believe
the
so.
last part of it. But that goes against also the people being... The problem is also the people that were trying to squelch them were doing it in a way that was like with hoses and dogs and...
Yeah,
and
it's not like
things
we've
that were
canceled your
illegal,
account.
but-
Yeah, no,
Right.
dragging somebody behind a car is a completely different thing than
Or
shutting down a
threatening
YouTube
their life.
account. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I
You
think there
know?
needs, like, people need to think about this in proper perspective. Like, we're just telling him, like, look, or Facebook is.
Yeah,
YouTube,
look, we just don't want your stuff around here. Yeah.
You're spreading lies. You're inciting angry and hateful talk, and we don't want it.
Right.
Isn't that fine? But that counters, again.
But it's their
Supreme
right
Court
to
decision.
do that. And I guess my thing about Twitter and and what they've come out and said is, to me, it's one thing if they would go, okay, here he is. Yeah, you know what? He's not somebody we agree with at all, but we're not going to take that away because it's his right to say that stuff, whether or not we agree with it. But, we're going to let it, but they didn't even say that. They just said, he didn't do anything. We're just going to let him say.
Right. He didn't violate our rules.
Yeah. And so,
they didn't take any kind of...
Yeah. They didn't take any kind of stance. And I guess that's what bothers me.
Twitter never has, though.
No, they never,
everyone
ever
expects them to, and they never have.
No.
So, if anything, you should expect that Twitter is going to be passive about.
Oh, sure. It bothers me. It doesn't surprise me. It's exactly what I would expect for Twitter to do. They did exactly as they always do.
But at the same time, they're it's sort of like all they are is a tool. We are the ones that make it what it is.
Yeah.
They're trying to say, look, we provided a pathway for you to block people or unfollow and not see it. If you don't want to see it, then who the fuck cares? Just stop following. And the people that like him, they like him.
Yeah.
Isn't that allowed? They're right.
Yeah, and they are right.
Isn't that what freedom is? It's people saying stupid shit, and you can be all for it.
Yeah. I would just like to have better blocking tools so I could block, the
people that retweet.
Yes,
or
I would love to.
Yes.
Yeah. You can give me that. That's fine. Let him be there.
You can mute, I guess.
Yeah, you can mute, but then that
topics.
becomes a full-time job at some point.
It is.
And luckily for me, knock on wood, I somehow have not seen a ton of that crap on Twitter, mostly because I think I was very careful about who I followed and I was pretty curative about my Twitter when I got on.
Yeah, I don't know anyone.
Was.
I don't have any friends, I think, that like other than my asshole neighbor likes InfoWars.
So it's it's a little echo chambery, but whatever. That's.
You would think the people that have a problem with Alex Jones being silenced, they're also pretty free enterprise. Don't get into my business. Like, they should allow businesses to operate the way they want, right?
Yep.
They don't
tread on me.
Right? It seems contradictory that you should be so upset that Facebook is kicking Alex Jones out, but you're all for Mr. Cake Maker to be able to do what he wants because it's his business.
Right, exactly.
Which is what comes back to me. Like, I am also flip side, the opposite that they are. Like, I have a problem with Mr. Cake Maker saying because you're homosexual, I don't want to serve you. And so what did it come down to for me was payment. When you're paying someone to do something, they should do it, correct?
That is my understanding of how enterprise works.
Yeah, we're not paying Facebook or Twitter for anything. Therefore, they have a lot of leeway in terms of like, hey, we'll do what we want. You're using our platform for free.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cake Guy is like, I don't like you for what you stand for. Your individual cake that's only going to you and not millions of other people. Like I understand the argument is that him doing it is an endorsement of a lifestyle that he disagrees with. But I'm like, it's only a problem to you and the people that you're making it for. And you publicized it, which made it a problem for everyone, but it wouldn't have been. Whereas Twitter and Facebook, they're open to everybody.
Yeah.
Therefore, that endorsement is magnified. Like, that's where I see the difference in terms of, like, an individual person dealing with another individual. That becomes, to me, specific and hateful. Whereas an individual to millions is chaotic and unspecific and open with lots of other, like, there's no mute tools or unfollow tools with a cake. You know, like if there's one
I am
cake,
going to unfollow that cake.
yeah, like if there's one cake maker in your town and you're gay and he doesn't want to serve you, what the hell do you do? Supreme Court says, like, yeah, sorry, you can't get cakes, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's real fuzzy though. Like, I don't even like my own arguments because it's really contradictory, and I understand that, and it bugs me because I don't want to be that flip side of what I dislike.
I get it.
So that's what's been really weighing me. Is like, God, I don't like what Twitter has done, but I gotta allow it, I guess. Otherwise, we're getting into the slippery slope of telling businesses how to operate. I mean, I guess we do anyway. We do have rules and regulations of how you do business.
Yeah.
The defraud and all sorts of things. You know, they do exist. So the speech run up against the liberty of a business, if they're not breaking any laws, I mean, that's also fuzzy. I mean, someone did go into a pizza parlor with a gun because of what InfoWars was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's where again it gets tough for me again because
yep,
you know,
it's insightful of violence, potential violence.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
You know, because if it weren't for that and like the Sandy Hook truthers and all the things like that,
God, I forgot about that. All the Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, you know what, the guy's a dick, but give him a break. But I mean,
the guy's a dick, and he's made people who are already suffer more and have to move out of their fucking homes because people are like, you're actors and faking. Like, God, that's harassment. I mean, basically, he's endorsing harassment, which is also, I believe, illegal.
Yeah.
It's fuzzy because I guess he would say, like, I'm not telling people to do it. They're just doing it on their own accord. And he also has claimed that it's a character, so it's not him doing it, it's someone else. And the whole divorce claim in terms of, like, his wife, he said, like, it's a persona, it's not real, which obviously the followers refuse to acknowledge. Yeah, I'm real torn on it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, and mostly it's because, like, the people that I butt up against are complete libertarians who believe that there should be no rules. I'm like, yeah, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is some real utopian myopic thinking that people are going to operate reasonably, because they don't. Nobody does. Not even libertarians operate reasonably. They just want to not be told what to do, but that lets people do whatever the fuck they want, which that's why we eventually create societies with rules. I'm sure way early on, there are plenty of societies that had no rules, and they realized, well, without some guidance, things get pretty crazy. What's the value of $1? What's the value of these goods? How do we exchange food for clothing? You're the person that makes clothes. I'm the one that has food. If there's no rules and what this means and what it's valued, what do we do? Like, that's the most rudimentary of it, but that's the start of it.
Yeah.
It's like myopic thinking, I suppose, but it's not fun.
Nope.
It feels like that's all that Trump is doing, is just pushing all of these. I mean, I know Trump doesn't have anything to do with Alex Jones, but to some degree he does, because he's been on that show and is a huge proponent of some insane conspiracy theories himself. But
yeah,
he's pushing all of these known, these amendments and rules against each other to basically say, like, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're not going to do anything. Like, it's just like, feels like anarchy is this close.
Do you have questions or topics for the show? Call 816-535-1094 and leave a voicemail. Or reach us on Twitter at Uncle Weepy. If you enjoyed this show, first rate and review the show on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Your review helps the podcast robot suggest this show to other listeners. Second, consider supporting the show on Patreon. Patrons of the show get access to exclusive after-show material. Several levels of support are available. Visit patreon.com/Uncle Weepy for details.